Well, good morning there, Papa's Posse. Once again, it's time for Papa's Comic Books, Coffee, and more. Okay, before we begin, don't forget about that QR code over there. Hit that QR code to take you to my YouTube, my eBay, and my Instagram page. All the social media you'll ever need. All right, let's see who decided to visit us today. Ooh, that's a different one. How about that? That is Walter Lantz's Woody Woodpecker Takes a Trip. It's a little golden book, Western Publishing Company out of Racine, Wisconsin. It's by Anne McGovern and Al White. Copyright 1961, Walter Lantz Productions. Now don't forget, hit that like button down below. Also hit that subscribe button. Helps me out, helps out the channel, keeps us going. And leave a comment. Tell me what you thought about this book. Tell me what you want to hear next. If it's in my library, we'll try to get to it. And don't forget about that QR code. Okay, let's see what we have. Woody Woodpecker Takes a Trip by Anne McGovern, Al White, and Ben DeNuez. Golden Press, Western Publishing Company, Racine, Wisconsin. This is the 8th printing, 1977. Original copyright was 1961. Walter Lantz Productions, Incorporated. Okay, Woody Woodpecker sat in the middle of a pile of boxes, bags, and barrels. I'm tired of my job, he sighed. All day I make holes in the life preservers. All night I make holes in donuts. What I need is a change. I need a long, long sea voyage, and that's what I shall have. Splinter and Knothead were thrilled when they heard Woody's news. Sailing, sailing over the bounding waves, they sang. Not so fast, Woody said. First we have to find the right boat to sail on. They walked down to the harbor to look at boats. There were blue boats and new boats, old boats and cold boats, boats that looked a frightful sight, but no boat that looked exactly right. Except for one, and that boat was big and beautiful and seemed seaworthy. They walked closer to have a better look, and Woody fell right over the long legs of a long-faced captain. Whoops! The captain was moaning and groaning. My beautiful boat is big and seaworthy, but my beautiful boat is no good. No one will want to sail on such a boat. Don't say that, Captain, Woody said. We want to sail on your boat. We want to take a long, long sea voyage. It's nice of you to try and cheer me up, the captain said, but just look at that boat. The shipbuilder forgot to put in the windows. There are no portholes. If people sailed on that boat, they wouldn't be able to breathe. No air can get in. Splinter looked at Knothead sadly. Knothead looked at Splinter sadly. They both looked at Woody, who was smiling from ear to ear. Captain, this is your lucky day, Woody cried. Look at me. I'm a woodpecker. I can make holes in trees and telephone poles. I can make holes for donuts and holes for life preservers. So why can't I make holes for your boat, too? The captain raised his head. The captain nodded his head. The captain stood on his head in pure joy. And it was no sooner said than done. Rat-a-tat-tat, Woody made portholes in the port side. Rat-a-tat-tat, Woody made portholes in the starboard side. Rat-a-tat-tat, he made portholes in the stern, and he made portholes in the bow. He made dozens and dozens of portholes until the captain cried, Stop! This boat will be nothing but portholes. Woody beamed with pride as he looked at his work. There are no finer portholes in any ship, he said. You have made me the happiest captain in the whole wide world, the captain said. I want to make you happy, too. You shall have your long sea voyage. Meet me here tonight when the moon comes up, and we will sail across the sea. They ran home to get ready. In a flash, Woody packed a big suitcase. In a twinkling, Splinter and Knothead packed their suitcases, too. They turned off the lights, locked the door, left a note for the milkman, and were off. The boat was big and perfect for playing games. Splinter and Knothead played leapfrog over the deck chairs, over the lifeboats, and over each other. They played hide and seek in the bedrooms, called staterooms, and in the kitchen, called galleys, and in the boat's elevators and swimming pools. Meanwhile, Woody helped the captain. He fiddled with the weather instruments and faddled with the compasses. He fiddled and faddled too much. Woody helped the captain steer the boat. He fiddled the big wheel to the right instead of the left. He faddled the big wheel to the left instead of the right. He fiddled and faddled too much, so one day, "Help, help! Oh, help," said Captain cried. "Iceberg ahead!" Woody, Splinter, and Knothead peered out of the portholes. Closer and closer loomed the mountain of ice. "My boat," the captain cried. "My beautiful boat with its beautiful portholes will be smashed to smithereens," the captain began to cry. "I can make holes in trees and telephone poles. I can make holes for life preservers and holes for donuts. I can make a hole in an iceberg big enough for a boat to pass through." The captain raised his head. The captain nodded his head and laughed. The captain stood on his head in pure joy. Is that true, you think? And it was no sooner said than done. Rat-a-tat-tat, Woody drilled a small hole. Rat-a-tat-tat, Woody drilled a bigger hole. Rat-a-tat-tat, tat-a-tat-tat, tat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat. Woody drilled a big, huge, gigantic hole, and the boat sailed right through the big hole in the iceberg. "Hurrah!" the captain shouted. "Hurrah for the porthole maker! Hurrah for the iceberg breaker! Hurrah for Woody Woodpecker!" From the North Pole, way up there, they sailed to the South Pole. They would have sailed to the Far East and the West Pole, but there aren't any such places. If ever on a Sunday you happen to find yourself at the South Pole, you might see penguins and seals, maybe horseshoes with rings made of ice. They will tell you in penguin and seal talk that the ice rings were made by a certain woodpecker by the name of Woody, who happened to pass by one day. Okay, well that was Walter Lantz's Woody Woodpecker Takes a Trip. From 1961, copyright by Ann McGovern and Al White. Now don't forget, if you don't mind, please hit that like button down below and hit that subscribe button down below. Helps me out, helps everybody out, okay? Also leave a comment. Tell me what you thought about this book if you want to hear more. What I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, okay? Alrighty. And as Papa and Woody and the captain always say,
that was easy.
Until next time, Papa is out.